15 laps, 500 miles, and it's all painted in black and gold. Hello everybody, welcome to Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the Steel City 500 at the Pittsburgh Raceway. We've got a very exciting race on hand here today, and joining me in the booth to call the shots, it's Gavin Beers 12. Gavin, what can we expect from these drivers in the first race of the East Coast Cup Series?
Yeah, thanks for having me. We have got a great race on hand here. The first race in the East Coast Cup Series. Drivers' nerves are at an all-time high. Who will etch their name in stone as the first ever winner? And it's going to come here right today in Pittsburgh.
It's going to be thrilling. We got a beautiful track to decide that winner. An inverted tri-oval kind of racetrack. Not inverted tri-oval, but an inverted racetrack when it comes to the tri-ovals. Start-finish line's on what would usually be the back straightaway, and the guy that's nailed that the best is Tony Stewart. He starts on pole here today. Yes, you heard that name right. That's Tony Stewart. He's going full-time this season. It's going to be so exciting to see what he can do in the East Coast Cup Series.
Yeah, great lap by him yesterday. For a little bit further back, we've got the 12 of Ryan Blaney starting fifth. Really good at running that high lane as the laps progress during practice. See if he could stick to it on the high lane all throughout the race and make up positions today.
Yeah, Blaney was one of those guys that was good up high, but he could really run anywhere. So it's going to be good to see what the 12 can do starting fifth. He's up towards the front, but one of those new guys. It's Shane Van Gisbergen, a brand new third car for Trackhouse Racing. This number 88 team has so much confidence coming into today. Shane put the car 14th in qualifying. A fantastic effort from Van Gisbergen on his first oval start.
Going to be watching out for him all day, and a little bit further back from that, we've got the 35 of Riley Herb starting 18th, making his first ever start in the East Coast Cup Series. A new entrant for that 2311 racing team running the 35, sponsored by Monster Energy. He's looking to make his name for himself right out of the chute in the East Coast Cup Series.
Absolutely, that new 2311 racing team. 2311 with so much confidence coming into this year. I cannot wait to see what they're able to do. But another team with the utmost confidence is Spire Motorsports. They just added Michael McDowell in the 71 of their lineup, a veteran for their lineup for a change, and it is going to be so interesting to see what he can do this season. He was good at running everywhere in practice. I'm excited to see what he can do today. Hopefully he can hold his ground and gain some spots.
Up next, starting in 24th, Ryan Preece, another new entry for RFK Racing, making a third team in the 60 car. Ryan Preece, very good on these intermediate style racetracks, really good at ripping the fence up on that top lane. He's looking to progress throughout this race and hopefully get a win for that 60 car.
The opportunity of a lifetime for Ryan Preece and RFK Racing with the Ford backing. It's going to be so cool to see what he does this season. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. We got some insane names up at the front. Tony Stewart on pole, a legend in NASCAR, looking to prove his worth even more. Today you got Suarez up there, a bit of an upsetting name. Same with Cindric, but you got a couple Hendrick guys there as well, Larson and Byron.
Yeah, going to be looking out for them all day long too. Tyler Reddick starting at the top of row 5 next to Chase Elliott. Both of them really good at ripping that outside line. Then you got Brad Keselowski starting a little bit further back. And Shane Van Gisbergen we talked about during pre-race, he's starting in row 7.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what SVG could do, as we touched on earlier. Some of the guys back here, Gregson to the 4 is new, Herbst to the 35, we obviously touched on McDowell in the 71, Allmendinger in the 16 as well. So all those new names and new faces, new places, it's going to be so fun to watch.
Oh, it absolutely is. This groove is going to move down the racetrack all race long. We'll touch on that a little bit later as we see more drivers in back. Joey Logano starting far back, as well as Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Carson, hosts of our big names that are looking to make a name for themselves in this series, starting far back. A lot of work to do today.
And Hocevar is one of those really good up-and-coming rookies. I'm really excited to see what he does this season. He's pretty good at running that wall in practice. I think he's going to be able to make a run towards the front, if not at least into the top 10. That 77's got some speed coming into this year. Let's send it down to the command with Howdy, I'm Carson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pittsburgh Raceway, the season opener. Let's get this race started, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers, start your engine.
Thank you, Carson, for the command. As the cars begin to roll off, we talked about Tony Stewart and how good he was this weekend. It's going to be so fun to see what he can do right off the bat. But he and Denny Hamlin are going to lead us to green. And this is a very historic moment, because guess what we're about to do? We're about to write the first chapter in a best-selling book. Into the Geico Restart Zone, we are green flag racing in the ECCS for the first time ever in Steel City.
Already off turn 2 of the 11, a big run on the outside. He put him 3 wide for the lead and takes it through the dogleg on the back straightaway.
Big move from Hamlin, but I think it actually came from Buescher. Buescher forced him 3 wide, but Hamlin took advantage up high. He's going to lead lap number 1 of the series.
And back into turn 1, the 11 goes low. Stewart fights back inside Buescher with the crossover off turn 2. Now that closes Ryan Blaney into this battle. Side by side, still down the backstretch, this time now heading into turn 3.
They draw right about even back to 3. Stewart way up high, Buescher in the middle. Hamlin leads off 4, and Stewart's got a massive run to the inside.
Big run by the 14. He takes it to the high side. Now Hamlin trying to fight back on low. Blaney and Buescher going at it for third behind them. Oh!
Cindric goes around off of turn number 2. I think he had help from Kyle Larson.
It looked like it. The 45 of Reddick almost into him. Going to see if he has any damage. But a close call there on the grass through the dogleg.
Some very big names in Reddick and Larson involved in this. I believe all 3 will be down pit road. Let's take a closer look in the Raising Cane's replay.
Coming off turn 2. Couldn't quite see it in that one. The 2 just got really high. The 5 right up behind him and around went the 2 quickly. Caught the 45 Reddick almost into that inside wall. Take another look at it here.
Yeah, I think Cindric's just trying to push it too hard, trying to get a feel for the track early, and it just too early for the 2. I think he just gets into the wall on his own. I mean, that was a really weird incident, but that's going to cause a big stack up, and Larson gets into the back of him.
You almost have to wonder if he saw that 17 and 12 go side by side in front. The 12 had a lift to get back in line if the 2 reacted to that, and that got him into the wall. But, man, what a close call for the 45 of Reddick. Down on the apron through the grass, almost into that inside wall.
Here's a look at the second angle, and I think this is going to showcase how close it was for the 45. The 2 gets into the wall, and oh my goodness! Reddick barely avoids. I don't know how Cindric corrected that in time. I'm not sure how he had the instinct to know that Reddick was there. I mean, probably right through his front windshield if I had to guess. But man, that was crazy.
Tyler Reddick was forced way low after Austin Cindric went for a wild ride off of turn 2. There was no contact though, so that equals no damage. 4 tires and fuel for car number 45.
Kyle Larson got into the back of Austin Cindric right there, causing that 2-car tandem spin. Now he's brought back down on pit road. Team's looking over the car to make sure there's no damage to impact his run today.
Austin Cindric was the culprit behind that yellow after getting too high in the turn. He's reporting that he has no damage, but the team wants to check anyways, and they're going to throw on 4 fresh tires to get to the end.
The NASCAR Community Cup Series rolls into Las Vegas, live March 16th at 7 p.m. EST, only on the ECCS Racing Network channel.
And welcome back to Pittsburgh Raceway. As you see the cars involved in that latest accident, they're going to make up the rear of this field. But the fans are getting ready for another restart here in Pittsburgh. Back into the restart zone they go. Green flag back in the air. Tony Stewart gets a big shove by his Ford teammate on the inside. That's Chris Buescher. And he's going to shove him off all the way into turn 1.
We restart on lap 5 of 15 of this race, and they're in the wall! Oh, that was Stewart and Hamlin! I think Stewart slid up the track,
More
and Hamlin
contact.
just tried to wreck him. Buescher just took him 4 wide in the grass!
Chase Briscoe goes to the outside 3 wide, and he's still making moves on Chris Buescher. Up to second for the 19 car. Now it's heads forward to catch the 19, but they are still 3 wide entering turn 1.
It is a dogfight for position, and it's a battle for the lead. Briscoe to the point as they head back to turn 3.
Blaney going to try that high lane. We saw him do it all practice long. And he's going to try to reel in that 19. A big run off turn 4. And look at Chase Elliott in the 9 closing in as we ride on board with the 12 back into turn 1.
Not quite going to be able to make anything happen there for the 12 of Blaney. As this restart finally starts to calm itself down, Blaney's got a decent run to the back of the 19. He backs up turn number 3, and he'll take his interest down low.
The 19, Briscoe went up top, going to take the line away from the 12 of Blaney, going to hold tough on that inside line, and Chase Elliott closes in within a car length to the 12 car now, back into turn 1.
This is the first side-by-side battle. It's for 4th. William Byron now is going to try to make the battle for 3rd. Here he comes to the inside of his Hendrick teammate. Here comes the 24. It's the scrap for the podium spot.
Ryan Blaney again to the inside of the 19, trying to make it stick. He's going to stack up that 24, though. Elliott's going to get a run off turn 4 and going to try to clear the 24 once again, but he's not going to be able to. Ryan Preece looking in 5th, as we mentioned earlier during the pre-race.
Uncle Buescher!
Oh!
I believe that's the engine for the 17. Caution comes out on the track as Chris Buescher's up against the wall. And that will end his day early as you see the smoke pouring out of the front end.
A strange deal there for the 17. Up into the wall he went. He was battling back side by side with somebody, the 6th of Keselowski, and just went head on into the wall. You see all the smoke pouring out. So it must have been a mechanical failure for Buescher.
Yeah, so is that or tire failure? But tire failures don't really happen like that. Could be a brake rotor, but yeah, we're getting word from the team now, from the radio communications. Buescher does say that was an engine, as you just heard. But I mean, that was unexpected, very, very unexpected from the 17.
Welcome you back to Pittsburgh Raceway. Once again, you see the 17 of Chris Buescher, who just blew up in turn 1. Again, took back to the hollow of the speedy drive being put down in turn 1. And oh, what a bad time for that to be put down. It's going to be a restart with 4 laps to go. These drivers are going to have to try to navigate their way through that speedy drive. And it's on the outside lane, going to block that run for the 12. Green flag back in the air.
Here comes Briscoe up high. He's going to sell the bag. Almost up into the wall goes the 19. And William Byron takes the lead away. Blaney in suit. But here they come back to turn number 3.
Cole Custer in the 41 moves his way up to 3rd. He could steal this race as he's battling with the 9. But Ryan Blaney coming off the top lane goes to the inside and takes the lead from the 24 car.
Oh, there's contact. They're sliding. And into the wall they go. The 24, the 12, hard up into the outside wall. William Byron and Ryan Blaney just self-destructed at the end of the front straightaway. The caution is going to be thrown, and these 2 days are done in Steel City.
What a mistake by the 12. He tried to clear in line right in front. As you see a look at it from the Canes replay, down the front stretch, he clears up, not clear, into the inside wall, slightly up, back into the 24. The 9 of Chase Elliott barely getting through that. And the 2 dominant cars, we could call them, are both taken out in turn 1.
We had talked about Blaney being so good in practice. Byron is going to be a perennial contender in the East Coast Cup Series. And, I mean, I think Blaney just sells the bag. I mean, just like Briscoe on the restart, he sells the bag. I mean, I don't really anything else to say. I think just the spotter clears Blaney. Yeah, he was not clear. You saw the contact there. And that's a weird incident for Blaney to slide. He probably could have saved it, but, I mean, that would have been a tough save. They both go to the wall, and I think they're both going to be out of this one.
And that is completely a racing incident with under 4 laps to go in this race. Blaney tried to clear up for a move that could potentially win him the race, and it did not pay off for any of those 2.
The cars now rolling through turn number 4. After that wild incident that takes out the leaders, we're ready for a wild overtime. Green flag is in the air, and it's the first ever overtime in the East Coast Series.
41 being shoved by the 6, but Elliott goes through on the inside line and takes the lead away. Now a battle for 2nd, 3 wide back behind them, but it's all Elliott clear off into turn 3.
Elliott with the point. Jones settles into 2nd. It's the battle for 3rd. Bowman and Custer. They're up off turn 4. Jones uses the high side. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go in Pittsburgh.
Elliott with the lead. What can Eric Jones do? He tries the top lane. He goes to the outside and gets side by side with the 9 down the back straightaway.
Side by side, wheel to wheel, door to door as they head back to 3. Elliott with the lead. Jones up behind. Here he comes. He gets in the sheet metal. Bowman goes through right up the gut. Here they come. They're wrecking. They're sideways, sliding on their sides. Huge hit for Keselowski. It's a huge win for Reddick. Tyler Reddick wins the Steel City 500 and is the first ever ECCS winner.
Upside down, the 48 on the front straightaway, a big crash. Tyler Reddick is going to squeeze through, I believe, to win it. But a massive crash on the front stretch. Denny Hamlin is blocking the track. Alex Bowman upside down. A scary crash off turn 4.
You saw the bumper given to Elliott by Jones, and chaos happened from there. Turn number 4 is where it all went down. Let's take a look at the Raising Cane's replay of this overtime restart.
Cole Custer got a great initial shove by the 6, but Elliott came through a power move, took that lead back. Then as they were coming to the white flag, Jones tried the high side, couldn't make anything work off turn 4. There's the white flag, and then Jones trying that outside line a little bit higher than the 9. He made it stick, got right up next to him, and the rest is history from here.
I can't believe Jones was able to make that work. You saw him drive it into Elliott, 3 wide. Bowman went, got up into the 9, and oh my goodness, that's a huge hit. That was huge. Holy crap. Big slide from the 48 into the 43, and that was ugly. You saw how close that finish actually was there at the line. Elliott is barely not going to finish this race just before the line.
Yeah, shame for him. He had it until turn 4 of the final lap. Bowman came through with a massive head of steam, and unfortunately, the cap just came and went from nowhere. And it ended up with the 48 upside down. That's how close the finish was. Tyler Reddick, who spun earlier in the race with Austin Cindric, he is going to win this race in Pittsburgh. And the first ever winner in the East Coast Cup Series. He burns it down on the back straightaway.
It is a beautiful win in Steel City for the 45. A tough finish for the 9, 48, 43. Keselowski got caught up in it. I believe Custer was in it. Great runs from all those guys were going, and it's all going to be for naught as they come to a stop just before the line.
Well, that's what it means to try to get a win. These wins are so important with such a short season to make it to the championship round. These guys all wanting a win, and you see just how close it gets in these final moments.
I just cannot believe how that all went down in turn number 3. And 4, really, that was unbelievable. Elliott, he's got every right to be frustrated right now. Just got robbed of a win, just got robbed of a good finish. And, if you watch the information video for this series, only the top 10 get points. So that's valuable points Elliott's losing out on, Custer's losing out on. All these guys who didn't make it to the line are going to suffer in the points.
And not only is it a bad result coming 31st for that 9 car, but it's a bad mood to be leaving this race with that. You dominated this race up front all day long. Now these guys have got to hang their heads, move on to next week, and try to get a better result, which they can do because they proved during qualifying, during practice, and during this race that they could be up front all race long. So it's going to be an easy rebound for them, but still going to need some motivation heading into race 2.
Absolutely. Elliott's the kind of guy that's going to have that motivation as we head to Richmond. He's pretty good at that track, so it's going to be awesome to see how he can rebound, possibly get a win. Could be Elliott's redemption arc starting now. You see some of the guys that didn't finish this race here, Blaney being one of them, Buescher and Byron also. Obviously, Keselowski and Custer got caught up on that final lap, same one with Elliott, so really unfortunate for them to not be able to finish this.
Yeah, it is. And these were all situations, besides the 17, of drivers trying so hard, trying so aggressively to win this race, making moves, and it's just not going to pay off for them.
I'll tell you what is going to pay off. The confetti raining down for Tyler Reddick. He's in victory lane now. The black and gold and white confetti going to rain down on the 45.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick and that team in victory lane for the first time ever in the East Coast Cup Series. What a name, what a title that is to hold. It's going to be an awesome season all season long. This 45 team is going to be a threat to win, but also the 5 of Larson. Don't forget to mention him. He came up just short, finishing second he is definitely going to be on the rebound move after this race.
Back trails are what they're all going to be on. It's all going to start in Richmond, Virginia next time out. But thank you all to who have signed up for a car for this series, this season. All your names listed on the screen right now. I appreciate you all sponsoring your favorite driver and taking part in this, the East Coast Cup Series. Also, a big thank you to my helpers on this race. Joining me in the booth was Gavin Beers 12 down on pit road, SMCS Racing Network, and Speed Cup Stop Motion. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick and his sponsor, Phoenix 28 Fan. And we will catch you all in a very short amount of time in the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Richmond Raceway.